What I have is Boxing Supporters Association of Queensland. Our association extends honorary life membership to Jimmy Shannon. Jimmy Shannon was originally a kickboxer. He's 52 years of age. Was born in New York City, so we even welcome to our Hall of Fame, even the Americans. How good is that? Jimmy was originally a kickboxer and a Muay Thai fighter, having 73 bouts and gaining the #1 ranking in Australia and #10 ranking in the world. Jimmy joined Fred Brophy's troop in 1997, and after 20 years, he has over 300 bouts in the tent and winning most of them. Jimmy is the Muay Thai Hall of Fame and will make... Can you hold that? I'm having a bad angle on that. Alright, Jimmy is the Muay Thai Hall of Fame and will make his last 10 appearances at virtual races in 2017. He presently trains youngsters in kickboxing, Muay Thai and boxing, and every weekend travels to all parts of Queensland to tournaments with a car full of youngsters, and in doing so makes a change for the better in many young lives. Jimmy Shannon isn't inducted into this because of his boxing ability, that's part of it, but the main part is the wonderful contribution he makes to the community, and particularly to young youth, and there's huge amounts of young lives around by introducing them to sport, and I congratulate Jimmy Shannon. And to say a few words, I'd like to invite firstly Darryl Burley, better known as the big fighter with Shannon, been working with him almost 20 years with Fred, and here's the digger to say a few words about his training.
I should be getting a photo of that too. Can you hold this?
Firstly, look, just want to say a big thank you to the committee and to Leo, particularly for asking me to come and do this and say a few words about Jim. I've known Jim for about 20 years. First met Jim when he walked into the boxing tent in '97. I can't remember exactly where that was, somewhere south east Queensland. But a couple of things over the years we've had a lot of fun. Some interesting conversations, some interesting opponents over the years. But at the same time, one of the key things I remember from many years ago, we were fighting actually in the ring in the car park at Collins. Back in that '97, I think that was as well. And Jimmy always had a pretty big left hand, he had a good solid left, and it wasn't often guys would walk through it. We were fighting this bloke this one night. He wasn't much chop, this bloke, but he had a lot of go about it, he had a lot of ticker. And he just kept coming forward. Jimmy kept dropping the left hand on his chin, and he just kept walking straight through it. And Jim came back after the first round and sort of made us, this guy just keeps coming. I said to him there, stop looping the left hand. He was throwing the left heel loop instead of throwing straight through. And Jimmy still looked at us, and you could see he sort of thought about it for a minute. And fair enough, he just nodded the head and went out. And started the next round, and one of the first punches he threw, right and left combination. And this bloke had been walking through that left hand all night. He dropped that one left on him. His ass hit the canvas so fast it wasn't funny. He didn't walk through that one. But the thing I remember about that, more than anything, which says a bit about Jim, was that he didn't know us that well, but the trust within the tent, within the troop, when we sat there and told him what it was and what he needed to do, not only did he listen and do it, but he trusted us in knowing what we were saying and knowing what we were telling him. And that one thing that told me that day was, he's the sort of guy who'll listen, he'll try what you say. If it doesn't work, he'll try something else, but if it does, he'll do it again. And one thing I've seen there, and I thought to myself, he's going to be a bloody good coach one day too, because he knows to listen, he knows when to actually put a bit of trust into the people in the corner that are talking to him. And he knows the value in that. And he has become a very good coach of a lot of young men. He's had a lot of guys come through his troop, guys and girls. He's done a hell of a lot for Muay Thai. As Leo said before, he's been inducted into the Queensland Muay Thai Hall of Fame. He has fought guys that have gone on to be world champions. So he is very, very good Muay Thai in his day. At the same time, in boxing, Jim would probably have a record that I guess many would think probably isn't something to brag about. Wasn't a lot of wins over quite a few fights, but the one thing I'll say for Jim It didn't matter about the numbers. The detail was that someone needed a fighter, they needed someone to back up and help on the show. He stuck his hand up. Didn't matter who he fought, didn't matter if they were dead certain he could beat him easily. He stuck his hand up because someone needed it. The sport needed it, he was happy to do it. He's done that throughout his career. This is a man who's a very honest fighter. He's a gentleman in the sport. He talks to anyone, will do anything for anyone, and if you need a hand, you only have to ask him, he'll always help you out. He is an absolute gentleman. He's a credit to the sport, and he always, everything he does, he holds himself in a way that always says the best about the sport and the people in it. And that's all combat sports. So Jim, mate, you're someone I absolute treasure to call a mate, a good mate. Congratulations.
And now, just a quick word from nurtured him all the way through, Fred Bravey. Just a quick word from Fred.
Thanks, Leo. Thanks, committee. Thanks, Alan. It's a great pleasure to be here this afternoon, and this young bloke here, when he come with me, is very pretty. He's a good-looking young bloke. There's the result after about 20 years. But I've got to tell you, Jimmy, I've got to tell all these people out here done a bit of boxing before. Now, this fella here, I call him Kid Valentine. He should have been the friendly mauler, which we have got a friendly mauler, but this bloke should have been. He is the most kindest and friendliest fighter that's ever fought that I've ever seen fight. When he'd hit his opponents and he'd knock them down, he'd go straight over, try to pull them up and say, look, I'm sorry for doing that to you. I said, Jimmy, you're not supposed to do that when they go down. We're supposed to, you've got to keep away from them. But every time he'd beat anyone, all he done was kept telling him how sorry he was. And he'd actually pick them up and say, let him pick them up, mate. This is for someone else to do and that. And he's a very, very friendly fighter. And just a great bloke, and he's done a lot for the boxing, and all these young kids that are coming through now, and especially what that Jeff Horn's done, he's put the boxing back on the map again, and all those people and young kids that are getting bullied at school, they're all going to join the boxing clubs now, which is fantastic. And there's another bloke that looks after all the young fellas as well. It's a great privilege for me to have someone like that in my boxing team. He's been with me for 20 years and he's going to have his last fight at Birdsville this year. Thank you very much, Jimmy. It's a pleasure. Thank you.
Thank you, Fred. And thank you, Harold, the fighting digger. All right, now we're going to call up to the stage the son of our next inductee, Tony Ryder. We'd like to welcome up to the stage his son, Willie Ryder.